So time is up for your enemies, and karma is striking them in multiple ways. There's brutal consequences for all the things that they have done to you. And they were relentlessly attacking you. And they were having a lot of fun. With this Three of Cups, they were having so much fun attacking you, okay, and doing all of these evil things. They were really in their element. They were so energized. They were thriving off of making your life a misery. They are thriving off chaos. These are like psychic vampires siphoning your energy. If they had joined together in a group, they felt like they found their tribe, you know, a group of them all attacking you, you know, an echo chamber basically. And they were saying all of these lies about you, and they knew deep down that they were all talking a load of BS, okay? But they were absolutely in their element, feeling like they found their tribe in each other, where they could all club together and try and destroy your life or make your life a misery. They were intoxicated by this false sense of power, okay? And the more that they were this echo chamber with each other, saying all these terrible lies and plotting and scheming, it's the more that they believed in their own lies, and they felt like they had the support of each other, and, you know, them deluding themselves in all of these ways, especially as those delusions were echoing amongst them all. They, like I said, they started to believe those delusions, and it blinded them, and it caused them to do very stupid things, very foolish things. And part of their karma is definitely them being exposed, them tripping up, their mask slipping in multiple ways, okay? I'm hearing from Spirit that you were a trap laid before them. They were drawn to you like a moth to a flame. They couldn't help themselves, okay? There's something about you where they totally misjudged you and thought you were some easy target. So they couldn't help themselves, you know. They were rubbing their hands together, thinking that they could steal so much from you. A lot of this is that psychic energy that they were going to siphon, or were siphoning from you. But this is them trying to take a lot of things away from you. There could be financial abuse here as well for some of you. But yeah, you were a trap laid before them. You were a trap in disguise, okay? Because you were the one to bring them into this final judgment, okay? They really were like moths to a flame. Like, they really couldn't help themselves. They could see you were abundant in so many ways, and they wanted to take all of this for themselves. They wanted to leave you with nothing, okay? So the universe has allowed for a period of time to pass for your enemies to do so many things. And this was so that they could accumulate a lot of karma, okay? I'm telling you, you are the indestructible soul. You are coming across as the Emperor here. You are a very powerful soul. I see you as very grounded, very balanced, very abundant. You have a very powerful mind, maybe a positive mindset. These are all of the things that these people didn't recognize within you. Your immense strength. This is your unshakable nature. You are of the light. All of this abundance that you have in all areas of your life are because you reside in the light. You operate from the light, you know. You come from the place of your heart. You are aligned with that high vibration, so you attract a lot of high vibrations. These people were foolish because they just looked at things on a surface level. They don't believe, or they didn't believe in like spiritual things. Like, they certainly didn't believe in, you know, cause and effect. Whatever they sow is what they reap. But they're being massively humbled, okay? So this is you, this high vibrational soul, whether you are a man or a woman. And you're sitting here stoically. This is balance. This is you being able to see the bigger picture. You have a lot of wisdom. You are at one with the divine. This is your guiding force, okay? all of these things that they overlooked. So this was them having some sort of premature celebrations as well. Like they thought that you were going to be the one that crumbles, your life's going to fall apart. They thought that they were succeeding, okay? And this is how foolish they are. It's like the divine deceived these people in making them believe that they were winning, in quotation marks, and they were succeeding with their evil intentions and actions. But this was all a false deception. This was an illusion, okay? And because they were believing in that illusion of them getting their way and succeeding, they continued on. And again, this is how this period of time passed for them to accumulate more and more karma, because they didn't realize that they were going to be facing this immense judgment. Lots of people are going to be observing the real them. With the Hanged Man, it's like they're being hung out to dry. This is them getting caught up. You know, they're creating these web of lies. They're creating a web of very negative energy, and they're getting caught up in this, and it's going to hit them. You know, it's going to take them by surprise. You've been going inwards and creating a lot of self-mastery. Again, this could be to do with being balanced, being stoic. This is you shifting your energy into a high vibration. When they were relentlessly trying to control your life and everything that's happening on the outside, the only thing that you could control for a while was your internal world, your vibration, your mindset. So for some of you, it could really resonate that you were really shifting into a much higher vibration, facing your biggest fears head on. You may well have had to do that many times over with all of their attacks on you, okay? But yeah, they had no idea that you were a trap laid before them to draw them into being so excited, you know, so evil at taking pleasure in making your life a misery, that this was what was creating their karma for them. So the universe has been observing every attack, every ill intention, and every scheme that they had to come against you. Again, this is an accumulation of negative energy, you know, sowing and reaping. It's like they had all of these negative seeds they were planting, all of this negative energy, intentions and actions. And they totally thought they were planting these seeds in your garden, and all this negativity was going to erupt or grow or, you know, come up in your life. And temporarily it may well have done. But ultimately, you've remained in your balance. You've remained in your integrity, the self-mastery. This is you being the alchemist, the magician here. You remained in your light, okay? So you are only growing positive things that are in alignment with that. They are the ones that are so negative. So all of those negative seeds that they planted are actually growing in their garden. The karma is actually happening in their life, okay? So everything they wished or wanted or intended to happen to you, or what they put you through, they are now receiving themselves. So this is happening in multiple ways, okay? So one of the main aspects of karma they are receiving is public exposure. Everything that they were plotting and scheming in secret is coming out to the light. It's very obvious, okay? They're so delusional that they honestly thought that if they intended for people to not figure them out, then that's what they would force to happen. You know, they think that they're this magician and they can make all of these things happen. But that was an immense delusion, because people are seeing very clearly. And their karma is they're going to feel incredibly embarrassed. They're like, oh my God, all of these things that they did that they just thought they were going to get away with and no one was going to know about, find out about. Everyone's finding out, okay? Everybody's knowing very clearly. So they're going to feel this shame, this embarrassment, and their karma is they've destroyed their reputation completely and they need to start all over again, okay? So this could be these people moving away or just they had to start over in terms of trying to meet new victims, unfortunately, who don't know them, don't know anything about their past, don't know anything about this pattern that they keep repeating. So yeah, they've got to start over from scratch. Also, the karma is, I see them turning on each other, your enemies attacking each other now, especially if you're staying stoic. And this is what I recommend, highly recommend, trying to cut off your energies, to be non-reactive. Basically, don't give them any narcissistic supply. Don't give them any of your energy, because they can sense your energy. This is so much more easier said than done, but it becomes easier the more that you practice this. And when they realize that they're not affecting you, when you've come out of alignment with that and you've risen your vibration so much and they're still down here in an extremely low vibration, they cannot reach you. Their attacks just completely backfire. Everything they send your way becomes their problem, their karma, you know. And these people, that they will, or they have slowly realized this when it's too late. Okay, this is what I mean, the accumulated time, accumulated karma. It was too late before they realized that everything was backfiring upon them. So this is huge tower moments they're also going through. But yeah, turning on each other when they can't affect you, when they can't control you, when they can't control other people's perceptions of you, when all of these relentless attacks and schemes and then plotting all fails and only makes their own life worse, then they become depleted, they have to give up, and then they have to go for easier targets, which is each other. So there's a lot of betrayal amongst them, and that's creating, you know, emotional dysregulation, chaos, drama between them as well. But you know, they're made for each other. This is what they live off of. So this is what they give out, so this is what they receive. You know, they live by this chaos, and so they create this chaos for themselves. They could also be having financial struggles. Like I said, this is the Two of Pentacles. Normally it shows someone juggling, like they're finding it hard to make ends meet. There's normally stormy seas in the background, so all over the place. They're lacking any kind of firm foundation financially, but in any kind of way, okay? This is why these people came to you. They were so drawn to you because you are stable in so many ways, and they thought you were an easy target, that they could just be like that bull in a china shop. They could act absolutely atrociously, have zero accountability, create all kinds of chaos, and they totally expected that you would continue to just put all the pieces back together, hold everything together, you know, feel all of this shame and embarrassment, that you would hide the truth of what you were going through behind closed doors from everyone else. And this may have been the case for a time. Again, that time of all of this accumulated karma for them, but not forever. Like, they totally didn't see that you were becoming strong within. This is you shifting within, like I said. They totally thought that you would always just take this. They had no idea, because they're so blinded, so intoxicated by that false sense of power and their ego inflating immensely, that it blinded them from seeing what was truly going on beneath the surface. You know, you're very intuitive. You're following your intuition, following your guidance to liberate yourself from this situation. They had no idea that this is what was going on beneath the surface. So I feel like you really pulled the rug from beneath their feet. They weren't expecting you to break free, or for you to be stoic, or, you know, the spell to be broken and you're no longer affected by this person and they can't control you. So this also has made them incredibly emotionally unhinged, very emotionally erupting, okay? Like a volcano going off. But they totally think that people somehow are not going to notice how they are this unhinged, basically. So in some cases, their karma could also be some legal consequences, judgment in that sense. Part of this karma is also them feeling very paranoid, feeling very worried, always kind of looking over their shoulder. And that's purely because they've been publicly exposed, okay? This is definitely not about you attacking them in any kind of way. This is definitely not you being anything like them. This is literally them feeling scared and paranoid and anxious because they've been exposed. They feel naked and vulnerable for all of this shadow that they have within them and how they operate in that way. Also, you know, you pulling the rug from beneath their feet, this is a huge ego blow or a narcissistic blow, narcissistic injury. Especially, you know, they totally misjudged you. They totally underestimated you. They thought you would be this continually giving and giving and giving person, this people pleaser. They were totally wanting to completely take everything from you, drain you completely. But, you know, they thought that you would always be giving and not be able to stand up for yourself. So this ego blow is them suddenly realizing in shocking ways, with the rug pulled from beneath their feet, that they are not as strong or intelligent as they thought. They're realizing that they were blinded, they were deluded. They will turn around and say that you were evil and you were deceptive towards them, but you had to be to protect yourself. These enemies put you in survival mode. So obviously your instincts kick in and you had to survive. You had to deceive them by playing along, if it resonates, for a while. But yeah, they're realizing they're not half as strong or intelligent as they thought. This is their embarrassment as well. Like there could be some sort of public exposure to do with them thinking they're so incredible, so strong, so intelligent, and everybody knowing that they're not. Also, another aspect of karma they are going through is seeing you thriving, seeing you successful, okay? Not just financially, but in all areas. Okay, this was you, you know, with a strength card overcoming this person, which they totally didn't realize. But yeah, watching you be successful, happy, thriving, receiving tenfold everything that they tried to take away from you. You receiving so much positivity in all areas of your life, the exact opposite of what they wanted and intended for you and tried to create for your life. They're seeing people genuinely loving you, genuinely celebrating you, supporting you. They could be seeing them actually, you know, this situation and everything they've put you through is creating like deeper connections for you with people who are deeply empathic. So again, they wanted everybody to see you in a bad light. They wanted to destroy all of your connections, destroy your prospects of anybody liking you or loving you. And the exact opposite is happening. And basically their life is just going downhill. You know, they were already in a very low vibration, but with everything that they did, everything that they've put you through, it's lowered their vibration even more. So they're in alignment with more chaos, more drama, that lack of foundation, you know, tower moments. So let's dive even deeper. This is you growing, this is you thriving. I'm telling you, a lot of empathy surrounds you. If you're not seeing that around you at present, the more you continue to shift and heal yourself, the more you will align with other empaths, empathic souls. This was always designed to be a rebirth, okay? You weren't just laid before these people to be the vessel, so to speak, through which they would accumulate all of this karma. This is also so that you would become immensely stronger. You would go through a death and rebirth, you know, the ending, you saying no to maybe being that people pleaser, you learning to have more boundaries. I always say that, you know, I don't want it to imply like you had no boundaries, you were, you know, a complete pushover or anything like that. I'm sure you did have certain boundaries. It's just the brutality of these people really made you have to shift and create very, very, very solid like boundaries. Okay. So this was always designed to happen to really help you elevate in so many ways. This is you proving yourself to the universe. The universe never doubted you. I know this could sound very triggering, but your soul agreed with these other souls and with the soul family, agreed for this situation to happen where they would fall more downhill, you know, because that's their choice. They chose that, and that's what they've created for themselves. And you chose the higher ground. You chose like a higher vibration to remain true to yourself, to create even more self-mastery of you aligning with the light, you aligning with your indestructible soul. So this is where you have elevated to very powerfully. And again, part of their karma is witnessing that. Witnessing you becoming so strong, them knowing that you were always the strong one, even though they totally thought that you were weak in the past, but they were wrong. Maybe you had a belief that you were weak, but now you're realizing that simply isn't true. You are incredibly strong because of everything that you had to juggle. You know, all of these things that these people were throwing at you to try and crush you still held it all together. Okay, I mean, this is why they sought you out in the first place, so that they could act atrociously and survive by you holding it all together. But there's this sense that you got to a point where you're like, this isn't my shit to carry, so you just dropped, you know, they threw all of these balls for you to juggle, so to speak, and then when you were ready, you were like, nah, I'm done with this, and you just like dropped all of these balls and left them at this person's feet, and they were totally shocked, and now they had to deal with it all. Okay, you gave all of their crap back to them for them to deal with, because it was always theirs to deal with. It was never your problem. They just tried to make it your problem. This is what they do. They have to jump from one victim to the next, trying to make all of this is the audacity that they have, all of their immense problems, they try and make it other people's problems. Other people got to deal with it. But this is a rebirth for you. I'm telling you, there's powerful connections that are developing. This is like the soul family tree. This could be divine love, or someone also going through an immense rebirth with you, some sort of soulmate of any kind. And the divine protecting you. This is all a divine happening, okay? They thought they were using you, but that God was using them to help you elevate. So, masks. Look, there's these Russian dolls. There's all these different layers. This is interesting. You may have felt like you had to wear a mask to protect yourself. You had to play along. This is you dropping any layers of false self. So this could be negative self-image as well. These are dropping. You're getting to the deeper layers of your true self. But also, you know, this is about the exposure of these enemies, these narcissists. People are seeing them as not only two-faced, they're 3, 4, 5, 6-faced. You know, they've got so many faces. They betray everyone. I'm telling you, they could have clubbed together to try and attack you, but they were using each other. And once they're done, once it all failed, they turned on each other, okay? Yeah, there's so many layers to you with those Russian dolls that these enemies, you know, they're so blinded by their inflated ego that they didn't even bother to stop and observe and look. This is why their life is also in chaos all the time, because they do not have any sort of foresight, or they cannot introspect. They cannot see the bigger picture. So this really served you, you know, their blindness served you to be able to transform so immensely right underneath their nose without them realizing. They're angry that everything that they did to you has helped you immensely in so many ways, become stronger, wiser, happier. You know, you had to shift to survive. You had to create that stability within when they were creating all this chaos on the outside. So as within, so without. When you create that immense stability within, a lot of that to do with self-love as well, but other ways of feeling safe and secure within. You found that peace within. So as within, so without. This is what started manifesting, okay? Your energies literally created tower moments for them. Because your energy is the light. The light reveals all of their shadow. Your light, like your aura, was expanding so much. It was pushing these people out of your life. And it may have had to happen in very dramatic ways for them. Because you were like, you had this determination, like, no, this isn't right. I don't deserve this. I deserve freedom, liberation, happiness. I deserve to be liberated from these people and these toxic situations. So this was your light expanding, your determination, you aligning with your true self, and it was pushing them out. And they were resisting this. All of this resistance was their attacks. And all of these attacks are, you know, what created so many tower moments for them as they tried to take back control and failed miserably. You are the true strength, and always were, yeah. There was deception, again, with the masks. They deceived you. They could have come into your life initially pretending to be like grandma with this little Red Riding Hood, but they were the wolf dressed up as grandma, or a wolf in sheep's clothing, okay? And they're so delusional. They think they're very intelligent. They think that they can do all of these things and nobody's going to realize who they truly are. Being so chaotic, so emotionally dysregulated, unhinged, brutal in all of these attacks. But they think just because they will then tell a few lies about it, or quite a lot of lies about it, trying to twist the narrative, that people must be as delusional as they are, because they think people are going to believe that. But it's very obvious that they attacked you when you were in a very vulnerable position. And Little Red Riding Hood, isn't she coming back because she collected some bread or something? You know, she went out on an errand to try and help the grandma or something, because isn't the grandma like bedbound or something, like confined to her bed? So that's representing like your innocence, your giving kind nature. And they were laughing, okay? They were laughing at you, but they're not laughing anymore, because they really see clearly that this whole time they were the ones that were deceived. When they thought they were just deceiving you, but you deceived them because you had to protect what you were really doing deep down, which was shifting your energy into the light, into liberation. This was your determination. You were making your freedom happen because you knew that that's what you deserved. Happiness, liberation. So you chose that and you aligned with that. This could be divine love, again with the 2 eggs in the nest here, and like I said, it could be 2 people going through immense rebirth, like your souls assisting each other. It's a very ethereal connection, 5th dimension and beyond. Like there's a oneness here on a soul level where you can be like naked and vulnerable, like your true selves, because the mask has been taken off here. This was you. There may have been a physical separation here. So you had to connect, like you both were seeking the light. Maybe you were both going through immense struggles and suffering and shadows. So, and then you met each other and you have like the deepest love, and it's about you helping each other into the light, which was, you know, shifting from within, because that is the infinite soul, okay? The internal world. This had to really play out internally, where you were pulling, you know, holding out your hands to each other, pulling each other through the veil into the fifth dimension and beyond, like totally transforming that internal landscape into the light, into love, into joy. This was you taking each other into that high vibration so that that would also become your external reality. Again, this is like masks, trying to fit in, trying to be like others. There's something very profound about you loving your true self, you being your true self now. Like you face so many fears head on that you're no longer as worried. You may have had to go through like a smear campaign. So initially you were very worried about what people were thinking of you, and you knew that it wasn't in your control what these enemies were saying about you. So this may have made you face like your biggest fears of what people think, and you shifted out of that. So that's also massively helped you to just now be like more of your true self, without worrying so much what people think. But I am definitely seeing a large group of people who know about this situation, these immense challenges that you've been through. They do see the truth. They do see that you are victimized. They're seeing that you are this survivor, that you're incredibly strong. They're seeing your integrity. But this is like the narcissist who's like a chameleon, okay? They change their mask to manipulate whomever they are around. They mirror people, you know, they find out. This is the thing, this is why they thought they were so intelligent with you. They thought because they knew about some things about you, what you were into, what you believed in, and they mirrored all of this back to you, that was still only more of a surface level. Like they had no true understanding about who you really are at all. They had no true understanding of the depths of who you are at all. So they were misjudging you, underestimating you based on that initial first impression that they had, and they were totally operating and trying to manipulate you all of the time, thinking you were just that first impression, that small tiny amount of you that they saw right from the start. They had no idea of your true depths, because they can't introspect, they cannot reach those deeper levels. This is why they lack foresight. This is why they never see the bigger picture. And this is why they continue to create this downward spiral of chaos and karma for themselves. Let's look at these cards. Separation. Sadness, missing you, thinking about you, yearning, unsure of the future. So I feel like you separated from them. In some cases, they may have discarded you, but whatever way around it was, there's this separation. You know, there could have been a time, you know, don't ever go back to these types of people. They will only want you to come back so they can finish off the job in punishing you and trying to destroy your life, okay? These people, they don't change. So don't ever go back. But you know, after all of these relentless attacks, they may have had the audacity to suddenly change their approach in trying to get their foot back in the door. And suddenly they may have been going, oh, I feel really sad, I miss you, I've changed, or I want to change. you know, because they were realizing that all of their attacks weren't working, so they tried to change their approach. But this could have been very sudden, okay, which is extremely suspicious, completely suspicious, okay, because like I said, you need to separate from these types of people. You need to cut them off. You need to go no contact. You need to not give them any kind of reaction, and then eventually, after all these chaotic attacks, they burn themselves out. They will try and change tactics and then try and get back in your good books and act like they haven't done all of this betrayal, which is absolutely ridiculous. But this is the level of ridiculousness that they operate from, that level of delusion. Yeah, look, they're trying to seduce you back in. Attraction, flirting, dating, hooking up, temptation, third-party interference. So they could have got flying monkeys involved, which are people they recruit to try and take you down. They usually, these flying monkeys that they target are normally deeply insecure, or there's some sort of unspoken promise, like the narcissist gives the flying monkey an unspoken promise, like they allude to the idea that they, as the narcissist, could fall in love with this flying monkey if this flying monkey does their bidding for them. But they're using this flying monkey to do their dirty work, because the narcissist doesn't want to get in trouble, so they'll be sending this flying monkey your way to attack you, to stalk you, because this flying monkey is trying to prove themselves and has this delusion that the narcissist will be loyal to them if they do all of these things for the narcissist. But this is where this betrayal, you know, them fighting amongst each other. But yeah, this is them love bombing you, trying to draw you back in. Don't go back ever. Don't believe them. They are literally that wolf in sheep's clothing. They will try and guilt trip you, twist the narrative, try and pull at your heartstrings and make out like you've done all these things to them. How could you be so cruel? All of this nonsense, all of this gaslighting that likely went on the whole period of this relationship, whatever kind of relationship it was. You are the phoenix rising from the ashes, okay? An immense new phase for you. Yeah, look, they want to rekindle, but no, this is you in transformation, renewal, growth, changed mind. I'm telling you, they're trying to, there may be a time where they try and come back in and be like, I've changed, I see the light, I'm so sorry. You know, there's no, you cannot ever forget, you cannot ever take someone back if they've literally done so many things to destroy you. They totally have no idea what love is. They will say a few fancy words and think that you're going to fall for that and get hooked on them again. But this is you having the immense rising, immense transformation, metamorphosis, the phoenix rising from the ashes. This is your light. This is your aura that is so immense, and your light is so powerful, and it's intimidating these enemies now, because your light, if they come towards you, it's literally like they're Dracula in the sun burning away, or your light is like holy water on a demon. All of these relentless attacks was to try and stop you or prevent you from transforming into your highest version, your most empowered version. They were very intimidated and fearful of that. Intimidated of you speaking the truth of what they've put you through. Intimidated by being exposed. So they tried to stop this and they failed, and this is when, through desperation, they will turn around and pretend to be all sweet again. But it's just to try and trap you and start the process of victimizing you all over again, so they can finish off the job this time. So don't ever go back. We have girl talk, time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment, having fun. This is your happiness, your liberation. This is you enjoying life, just being free, you know. Another thing that is so immense, so immensely positive is that, you know, we all take things in life for granted. But after going through hell and back, there's all of these things about life that you're going to find so incredible. Like nature, the weather, the sunshine, your peace, stability, simple things, creating a simple life and being so satisfied, you know, a sense of wholeness from these simple things. It's like with this rebirth, you're going to be seeing life through completely new eyes. Everything's going to seem brighter, more colourful, and finding peace, like I said, in the simple things. Yeah, this is you aligning with the abundance. Abundance is coming in all areas. Keep a positive mindset. This is what you have aligned with because you transformed your mind. Manifest exactly what you want. Gratitude, bliss. So if there was any financial struggles that you went through because there was financial abuse, this is also money coming in. But overall, it's that abundance, it's that firm foundation of positivity, of love, and feeling so secure and safe and protected, because this is everything that you've been working on internally. You've shifted yourself into that, and it is becoming your reality in all areas of your life. So if this reading has resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. Give it a thumbs up, share it, subscribe. That all really helps me out with the algorithm. If you didn't realize, I also have another channel which is called Twin Flame Psychic 1111. On that channel, I do very in-depth twin flame readings. So I will leave the link to the other channel below this video in the description box and in the pinned comment. So if you could click on that link, head on over there, click on subscribe and turn on all notifications. I will really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining me here. Take care. Bye.